Hello, I'm Admiral Bumblebee from AdmiralBumblebee.com, and today I'm going to introduce you to my favorite plugin of the year. Alright, wait. Freeze frame. How did I get into this mess? Let's start from the beginning. EARevolve is a multi-component monster. The first thing you'll see is a stereo chorus section. You get true stereo. That means there is two stereo choruses running in parallel. Then you will see the Rotary Speaker section. You get a full selection of Rotary Speaker accoutrements. Next to that, you have the room simulation section, where not only are you having a rotary speaker spinning in a room, the rotary speaker is spinning in the room. The rotary speaker can be moved about the room manually if you wish, or it can be automatically moved in a circle, side to side, or up and down. But it's not just a room simulation. You have microphones recording the speaker in the room, and those microphones can be configured in a wide variety of ways. There are presets, but you can also select exactly how the microphones work, their directionality, their rear rejection, or their angle. Plus, of course, their position is fully configurable. It's pretty cool. Alright, so before we move on, I want to show you something special. This isn't even listed in the manual. What you need to do is you need to find a way to control the parameters. You can do this via automation, or if you can access a generic GUI, use that. Then go find MIDI mode and set that to DDJ. Then you can go back to the GUI and watch what you can do. I can now control the horn and the drum manually, using an encoder in this case. However, you can use a DJ controller, as the parameter is called DDJ. In this case, I can push in the encoder to control the drum, and by default it controls the horn. Pretty neat.
Take a look around, see the houses we build, they are falling down around us.
So let's take a look at the chorus now. You have the normal controls, you have a rate, you have a depth, and you have the shape of pitch modulation. You can also randomize the shape slightly. And then you have a stereo chorus to the left and a stereo chorus to the right, with delays for the left and right on both of them, a high-pass filter, a low-pass filter. You can invert the right channel. You can cross-mix the two choruses. You can select which of the two choruses is used the most. And you can set the relative rate of modulation between the two choruses. It's simple, it's easy, it's quick. So now let's look at the rotary speaker section. EARevolve splits the signal into three bands: a low band where nothing happens, a drum band, which controls which signal goes to the drum, and the horn band, which is everything else. From there are two speeds, speed A and speed B. You can select between speed A and speed B at the top. You can also pause the horn or pause the drum. Where the drum or the horn comes to a stop is controlled by the park angle. You can set the park angle to be freely set, to go between the mics, towards the center of the room, or away from the center of the room. How long it takes to go from speed A to speed B and vice versa is controlled by the acceleration and deceleration controls. In the XT mode, there is the gain and low pass filter mod, which controls how much the gain is reduced when the horn or drum is facing away from the microphones, and it also controls how much of a low pass filter is applied when the horn or the drum is facing away from the microphones. The horn has a special peaking filter that can be set up, and if you click this little downward arrow, that will make the low pass filter cornered at your peaking filter. There's saturation on both the horn and the drum, and there's Doppler effects. So let me explain what Doppler is first. Here we have a car making a sound and a little smiley face listening to the sound. The car is moving in the direction of the listener, so each little bit of air it moves is overlapped with the last bit of air it moved. So this decreases the wavelength of the sound, which increases the frequency. So the closer the car gets to the listener, the higher the pitch is. The reverse happens as the car moves away from the listener and the pitch lowers. So in EARevolve, as the horn or the drum passes by you, the frequency increases slightly, and as it moves away from you, the frequency decreases slightly. It's a really neat effect. I suggest trying it turned on when you start creating any new sound. I also forgot to mention that you can synchronize the speed of the horn and the rotor to the host tempo. You can also do this with dotted and triplet notes. Before we start, there's the little button in the lower left-hand corner that belongs to the rotary speaker selection. This lets you change the direction of the horn and drum rotation or automatically change them in a somewhat random fashion dependent on the acceleration and deceleration controls. And here is where the cool part begins. You have a rotary speaker of any diameter that you choose that is placed in a room of almost any size that you choose and is recorded with virtual microphones. You can place the rotary speaker inside this room wherever you want by clicking and dragging it or using the X and Y controls, or you can have it automatically moved around the room, synced to your host tempo with dotted or triplet notes. The rotation is not just a circle. You can squish it in the horizontal direction or the vertical direction, and you can change the center of rotation. But how do you hear this? You hear this through the microphones. There's 2 microphones that are virtualized, and you can change a lot of stuff about them. Firstly, you can change where they are. But then if you click this little button and then click Show Mic Settings, there's a lot more. You can choose the direction that the microphones are facing individually. You can change the rear axis rejection. You can change the polar pattern of the microphones. And you can put them in mid-side mode while still using these parameters. Alright, this is obviously a really great product. However, it's important to remember to use the dry and wet control because some of the fully wet things are crazy. You will go nuts using just those. However, you can imagine using a speaker in a room that you can move all over the place. It's fantastic for mixing. If you go to AdmiralBumblebee.com or check the link in the description for the text post that I did, which is massive and it has a ton of examples, you will see that there is a lot you can do with this that is more than a rotary speaker simulator. So, go to EARreckon.com, check out EARevolve, go to patreon.com/AdmiralBumblebee, go to AdmiralBumblebee.com, and hit the dislike button. And the subscribe button, please. Please hit subscribe. Thanks.